We're Sixwire, and we're from Nashville, Tennessee. We sort of represent today's Nashville, which is a little different. It's not your grandpappy's Nashville. We grew up listening to country, and we also listen to rock and pop.
You might call it edgy country.
You might.
You might. That might be stupid.
I just said one thing.
Okay, well, don't talk anymore. We were signed before to a label, and we put an album out, and we had a couple singles out. You know, we just want another shot at it. Our families are all excited.
His kids are musicians.
Yeah, my kids are musicians, and they sent a tape in, too.
Oh,
they're still mad at me.
The first influence I had about getting into music, I watched Glenn Campbell on television in the early 70s and playing and singing. He had his own little television show. I remember watching that and said, that's what I want to do.
I had a lot of different influences, really. Seeing the Beatles on TV and Rolling Stones.
The Moody Blues in Chicago.
The Eagles and Boston. You know, lots of guitars and lots of vocals, and that's just what I like.
My biggest musical influence would be my dad. My dad would have jam sessions, and it made a huge impression on me. And so I started playing guitar back then, never stopped.
I've never had to do anything job-wise outside of music.
My kids thought everybody's dad was in the music business. They don't know any different. You know?
Your pursuit of the things that you've been working for your whole life, as we've been doing, will pay off and are worth everybody having to sacrifice the things that you miss.
I wouldn't trade any of my experiences. It's got me where I am, whatever that amounts to.
Andy is head of all things financial, and he makes sure that our checkbook is in the black.
He's the responsible one in the group, perhaps.
We have exactly $11.16 in the Sixwire account.
John Howard is head of PR. He's the king of small talk.
He's trying to convert the whole planet to be Sixwire fans, one by one.
Rob is kind of like the anal retentive mom of the band.
That's okay, I got it.
Those dishes go in that other cabinet.
You know, those eggs, they got a lot of cholesterol in them.
Didn't everyone get up and go to the gym and work out today?
You know, everything in its place.
One thing nobody would know about Chuck as a drummer is that he was the drummer for Engelbert Humperdinck for a number of years.
Played with Engelbert Humperdinck, yeah. Did a lot of international touring with him. Almost like playing for Elvis.
I think his mom was probably most proud of that one.
Rob Houston is a closet Trekkie.
When Rob was a kid, he actually built a replica of the bridge of the Starship Enterprise out of cardboard in his garage.
I can imagine. I can see Rob sitting there playing Captain Kirk. I bet he even had Spock ears.
One thing no one knows about Andy, he does a really good Elvis Presley impersonation.
Andy Childs is a parrot. He can imitate anyone, anytime. Nails Bill Clinton.
You know you want me back, don't you? You want me back in that White House.
The competition's been a wild ride for Sixwire.
We used to be a boy band. Now we're a man band.
From the first phone call
They invited us out to Las Vegas. It's been downhill ever since that.
to Andy's week with bronchitis.
The worst moment for me, and it was a tense moment for the band, was I was really, really sick. We went out and we really poured ourselves into it.
I'm sorry, it just felt like you were going through the motions to me.
We saw what Andy had to do to sing that night and to get that comment.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
But through highs and lows, Sixwire is clear why they want to be the next great American band.
The band's been through a lot. We did have a record deal before, and us and the label, something didn't click, and we got dropped before we even got off the ground. And we'd like for that to not be our only shot. We have a lot of people telling us it's time to move on to something else, and we just don't want to. The winner gets a record deal, and that's a new life for Sixwire. You know, we're all best friends, and we don't want to stop.
The best place to get started is back here with all of my friends.
From all of us here in Sixwire, we can't thank you enough for your support. We know the only reason that we're still here on this competition is because you like what you saw and you picked up the phone and you voted for us, and we like you too. So thanks so much.